That right there is my long-coated Shepherd Lobo, and there is a frozen tilapia, and this is a mukbang video. Oops, I accidentally hit the pause button. Now, just because I always get somebody in the video who will comment if I don't say something, the kennels you see in the background there are just there to separate my dogs when I'm feeding them. They don't live in the kennels, they live in the house. The dog house is required under state statute 343.40. I always feel I have to say that just to keep from having to write it in the comments when people ask that question. I feed my dogs what's called a BARF diet. BARF is an acronym for biologically appropriate raw foods. It was a diet created by veterinarian Ian Billinghurst, who wrote a couple very good books on the subject, Give Your Dog a Bone and Grow Your Pups with Bones. I'll provide links to them down below. I'll also provide links to a couple online resources if you want to learn more about feeding raw. Now, to answer another question I know I'll get in the comments, yes, it's okay to give your dog bones. It's cooked bones you never want to give your dog. Cooking the bone changes the consistency of the bone. It makes it indigestible to the dog, prone to fracturing into sharp pieces and causing bowel obstructions and perforations in the bowel. Dogs are designed to process raw bones. They've been doing it in the wild for millions of years. Now, I often freeze my food before I give it to my dogs. Fish should be frozen a minimum of 3 days. If it's a salmon species, it should be frozen a minimum of 7 days. Pork, which I don't recommend you give your dog raw, but if you decide to give your dog pork, it should be frozen a minimum of 3 weeks to kill trichinosis. Lobo is a 2-year-old long-coated shepherd. I think he's beautiful, but I admit I'm partial. If this fish was raw, it'd be polished off in just a matter of a couple of minutes, but again, I like to give it to him frozen because it slows him down a little bit, makes him work a little more for it, keeps him from wolfing it down, so to speak. Lobo went for a 3-mile run with my bike about an hour ago, and he is now having a post-workout snack. Later on in the day, I'll throw some veggies into a food processor and mix it up with some ground meat, and that will be his second meal today. My channel is a vlog of my daily wilderness hikes with the dogs. They do about 3 to 6 miles a day through the Mississippi River Valley. If If you're interested in seeing that, go to my channel and take a look. I've got almost 500 videos on the channel of them running through the Mississippi River Valley in various areas. I also have some playlists on my channel of my Renaissance Bulldogs doing bite work, obedience, and agility training. And also have a playlist of some music videos with the dogs, and have a mukbang playlist also. I'd like to say to those who've been with the channel and subscribed for a while, thanks for all the support. I appreciate it. And to you people who've recently subscribed, thanks a lot also. And everybody in between. Cool. People will often ask about things like salmonella. Dogs, about 18% of dogs naturally harbor salmonella in their G-tract as just a natural part of the fauna in there. Your dogs are more susceptible to getting salmonella from commercial kibble food than they are from raw food, believe it or not. You should always wash your hands after handling dog treats or commercial kibble, because again, they're often contaminated with salmonella. Many of the pet recalls you see on kibble food and dog snacks is because it's dangerous to people to handle it, and not dogs. I'll provide some links in the description, and you can learn more about that as well. I highly recommend the raw diet to anybody interested in trying it. But as I often say, don't take my word for it. I'm just some guy on YouTube. I don't claim to be an animal nutritionist. I've just been feeding this way for a little over 20 years and have had great results. This is what they're designed to eat. I feed my dogs a variety of different proteins: fish, poultry, which includes chicken, turkey, occasionally quail. I also give them beef. As I said earlier, I tend to avoid pork because it has to be frozen a minimum of 3 weeks to kill trichinosis. You know, the same goes with bear meat too. Not that that's a common thing that people have access to, but bear meat should also be frozen a minimum of 3 weeks. For poultry and things like venison and beef, I just do it for 3 days. Again, you can see he polished off that fully frozen tilapia pretty quick. You can see feeding a raw diet gives them a beautiful shiny coat. It's also very good for their teeth, cleans their teeth, and prevents them from developing any tartar deposits. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.